Too clever,
but too lazy. Welcome, guys.
Welcome to episode 11.
We're taking it to 11.
Too lazy. Yes, we're doing what was it? I forgot what they're called. But it was a movie.
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. It was with an S. I was gonna get. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yes.
Taking it to 11 on the amp levels today on episode 11. Too clever, but too lazy.
Should we call this episode Spinal Tap?
Yeah, that is. That's perfect. See who gets it.
Right.
Well, we just did kind of explain it, but all right, go ahead.
Well, they'll get it after they listen. Mm-hmm. But when they just look at it.
Right. Why is it Oh, yeah. I wonder if anyone is going to, if we have any, metalheads that are in their 50s listening to this.
Probably not.
All right, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
So I was I was watching these videos on Instagram today, just kind of whatever. And I ran across this British chippy who has this app that, she talks to ghosts through it. It'll say sayings or words and whatever. And she'll have conversations with them, and they're actually really funny. And sometimes she does get ready with me videos with this ghost thingy on. And she's washing her face, and she all of a sudden out of nowhere, she's like, Shakira. She's like, do you ever just sit quietly and your brain screams that?
You know what I have?
I was like, I have never been like, Shakira.
There is that song where it happens. Yeah. Shakira.
Oh, is that where it's from? Because
I feel it is.
I can't stand her. She cannot sing. It's pick a style of singing and just stick with it. She yodels at some point, right. And she'll sing and then she'll talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Her voice is all over the fucking place.
And it's interesting you say that because to pick a style, because she was on The Voice. She was one of the hosts on The Voice for a while, and one main criticism that they would always say is that she was never decisive. She would look at the other judges and see if they were going to turn around first, and then she kind of she would never turn around first. She would never be the one to
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? So it makes sense that
is funny.
She's an indecisive artist.
An indecisive little broad.
Right. She just wanted to be in the camera, but she didn't know how. Do whatever I got to do to get there.
Well, she's like, yo, I can move these hips
these
crazy.
Hips, they don't lie. The hips don't lie. They don't.
No, they don't lie. Her voice may, but her hips don't.
The thing is, she was in that video next to Beyonce, and however you feel about either of the artists, her butt compared to Beyonce in that video, it was it paled.
Really?
It did. It was Beyonce's was much larger and more vivacious, if you will.
Yeah. Put J-Lo next to the.
Exactly. You know
what I mean? I never really thought Shakira had a big butt. She could shake it.
Right. Yeah.
Just
exactly.
Great.
Right.
But
it was more shapely than anything.
Yeah. It's not an ugly butt. It's a good grabber.
By any means.
I would grab that butt.
Of course. That's why she was able to shake it. That's why she got by on that butt for so many years. That's what it was. It was just basically off her hips and butt. Mm-hmm. And she did have a good head of hair. All right, episode 11.
So, what's your thought of the day?
We already.
I sent you the sample of that to do that. Yeah, that's the only one. That's the only one you haven't done yet.
I did. I have it. I sent it to you. It goes like.
I know, but I told you it needs more reverb. It's not big enough.
All right, that's what she said. All right, whatever. All right, so here's my thought. I'm not sure if I've ever brought this up before, but I'm going to say it again. My thought of the day is, how much must it suck to be a member of the Eagles? The band, not the current Super Bowl NFL championship team.
See, my brain thought of actual Eagles.
Right, the member of the band, the Eagles. All right, because hear me out. So they've been a band since, 1975, roughly. They've been a touring band. They have several hits. My dad had the Greatest Hits album. I remember we had a road trip from Texas to Florida, and most of it was this Greatest Hits album. They did have some bangers. A couple of the members even had successful solo careers, right? But here's the thing. that if you, I, or anyone we know goes to an Eagles show and they don't play motherfucking Hotel California, no one's leaving because they are going to expect an encore. They have to play that song at every show. Not only do they have to play that song at every show, they have to close every show with that song, and not just any version. It has to be the extended acoustic bass solo, 7 guitar solos version. It's like a
Oh
9 minute
yeah.
song
Yeah.
every time they have to play that song, dude. God damn it, dude. How do you not how do you live with yourself? And they know it's like Sir Mix-a-Lot. Like when he wrote Baby Got Back, he didn't know he was gonna be playing that shit at some casino for 50-year-old white
Well,
ladies.
that's what I was thinking about, like, Free Bird, or like
All right.
that what's that one song, the Sweet Home Alabama
Sweet Home
song.
Alabama,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there's some crazy, yeah, to be in a band to have a hit like that at that
Right.
level.
Where you have to play that
Yeah,
song
you have to
every show.
fucking do it.
There's
Yeah.
no way you're getting away with not playing that. I mean, it's just I know that Eagles one is just it's so long. Like every time I hear like a live version, it's longer and longer with like
It
more
gets longer and longer
congos, and
every
they've got like more
like the
percussion
Congos
happening.
have a
Yeah,
solo too.
yeah. It's just like insane. Oh man.
Well, it's like Bert Kreischer. Is that how you say his name? Kreischer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Krishna. Yeah.
what?
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, no one
But
knows his
it's
name.
like him and the machine, his persona, the machine. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
has to take his shirt off
Right,
at every episode,
right.
or sorry,
Yeah, I
every
get it. Yeah,
every show,
yeah,
and he has to tell that fucking story
yeah, yeah, yeah,
every fucking time. Like
yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Segura was talking about that.
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
gets really draining,
Right.
and
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
that has to suck, dude. Yeah, imagine just like like that one bit got you like so huge, and now
Hmm.
you have to. You can't go to a Bert Kreischer show like in real life, not like in a special. If he's filming a special, he's not gonna do that. But if you go to, you're like, come on, people are chanting like, tell the fucking machine, you know.
Hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
fuck, it's like a 15-minute joke at this point because I
I
added so
know
much
that
extra
was.
shit that people want to hear, so.
Well, and it's like, why do you got to tell it so many fucking times? We've all
Right.
heard the fucking
We heard it. We heard it.
story.
We heard
We
it on
know.
talk shows, and
Yeah, we
you had your
fucking
shirt
know.
off.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's a hilarious
It's a great
story,
story. It's a great story. He
but
made it
it's,
into a movie. Did you see he made it into a movie?
oh God, of course.
Yeah, it has fucking what's his name? Luke Skywalker.
Oh,
Ah,
Mark Hamill.
yeah, there we go. Mark Hamill. He's in it. And then I heard that like Mark Hamill didn't even know he was in it at first, and then like oh, uh,
That's
uh,
funny.
anyway.
That's crazy.
So, dude, okay. So, side note, you're from Utah. You grew up kind of Mormon white, right? Correct.
Quite, no, wait, you're like, you grew up Mormon, white.
Yeah, that was a Freudian slip, but it worked.
It did work. No, I didn't. I grew up in South Central. I'm from the hood. Don't I look like it? I sound like it
Yeah, yeah,
completely.
dude. Okay, so quick side story actually. So this reminds me of this one. Remember when I lived in Chula Vista? Yeah, yeah, and I lived right next to that really angry like white lady, and she was always mad and she was always complaining, and she had a
Is
Mexican.
that apartment that is it the apartment that I've been to?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Remember?
okay. Well, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah, the one.
I don't know how many places you lived in
No, no, the
Chula.
one, the one that you met, the one that you went to all the time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, or there's a few times, whatever. The one you threw up in. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
that
anyway,
one.
I had an angry white neighbor right next to me, right? But anyway, below me, for a period, I had these two obese Hispanic twin sisters, and they were great. They were really nice. They would always hook me up with food,
I
and
remember I was just gonna say that. Didn't they always give you food?
yeah, and here's the cool thing is like it was always good. Whichever's ever happened to before, where like you see like a big person, they like, hey man, I'm about to cook you my specialty, and you're like, hell yeah, it's gonna be the best meal I've ever had. Look at the motherfucker, and then they make it for you, and you're like, you got fat off this? There ain't no way you got fat off this, dude. Come on.
Wait, that
You-
reminds me of this time we had
yeah.
I had these roofers, it
Hmm.
was like a few months ago, these roofers were here, doing the roof. And I made a bunch of salsa. I don't know how to minimize my recipe. I always make way too much, and I love it really
Right.
hot. And by the end of this the saga of getting my roof replaced, there was just one or two guys there, right? I go outside to check my mail, and then I come out and he's sitting in his truck, and I was like, "Hey, I have way too much salsa. Would you like a jar?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'd love it." And he looks brown, whatever.
Hmm.
I was like, "It's spicy." He's like, "Oh, perfect." And
Sure.
then I fucking
Yeah.
made tacos that night, and I'm eating it. I'm like, this isn't
Yeah.
spicy at all. He's gonna be like, fucking gringos think their shit's hot and shit. And I was like, I really do
Right.
hot salsa, I swear to God.
Here, be careful, buddy. It's spicy. You look so white right there, dude.
I
You like
did.
upped your white game, dude. Oh no, okay, so bad. Okay, so I had that angry, and I had those two obese twin sisters, but they're cool, and we'd always chop it up. So anyway, I'm downstairs smoking a cigarette, and they're in and out of their apartment, like cleaning and stuff, but we're chit chatting, right? And then as we're chit chatting, that angry white chick, the older white lady, she tries to like squeeze past them, but like not say anything, and they kind of get into it. And then finally, one of the
I
Mexican
think I
chick,
remember you telling us about
yeah,
this right after it
this
happened. Yeah.
this Mexican chick, she goes, well, why don't you move your white ass then? And then the white chick goes, well, why don't you move your spick ass then? And then we're all like, oh, yeah. And then we're all like, damn. And then the Mexican chick's like, why, damn, why you got to be racist? Don't you have a Mexican husband anyway? And then the white chick, she goes, well, you just said move my white ass. And then the Mexican chick goes, no, 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 I didn't. I said move your wide ass. I
That's
never forgot
fucking
that, dude.
funny.
I never forgot that. Every time I think someone's like, say, that white ass, I'm like, nah, that wide ass. But anyway, so yeah, so that reminded me of that. But okay, so back to the Mormon stories. There's a show I found out. It's called um, My Husband Is Not Gay. Right. And it was, I think I told you
Will we
about it
find
before.
you on that show?
No,
You
no, I
and
wasn't. I wasn't married yet, so I didn't qualify. It's just engaged. Now, it was back in 2015, yeah, quite a while ago. But it was filmed in Salt Lake City, so your home state, not your hometown. But and basically, it follows four Mormon families where the husband he's not gay. He's what he calls same-sex attracted, and so he's
Oh,
attracted to
so
men, but he doesn't
but
live
he's
his
not
life.
gay. He's
But
not
he's not
gay.
gay. He's same-sex attracted, but he lives his life
Okay,
as
that's
a
different.
gay as a heterosexual man married to a woman with children. But they have an agreement, him and his wife, that he's allowed to have gay thoughts, and she knows he's gay, but he just doesn't act on them.
But
Right?
wait, they have
Same-sex
kids.
attracted. They have kids. Yeah.
Well, then he's clearly bisexual at the least. Because I mean, if you're gay, like, can you really have sex with a woman like that and get her pregnant? I mean,
Well, from first-hand
I mean, yeah,
experience.
but like, yeah, men. But
All
I
right.
mean, like, yeah, gay men have families all the time, but sometimes
Yeah.
they're lying to themselves and their partner. But like when it's out in the open like that, maybe they're bisexual.
I mean, well, yeah, either that's fine, but he's still same sex attracted, even if he's opposite sex attracted as well. You could be both. So yeah, I guess he could be bi, but he's also
No, he's not
for
bi.
sure definitely into men. Huh.
Well, he's not bi. He's just same sex attracted and
Sorry,
opposite sex attracted at the same
sorry.
time. Yes, he's not bi.
Right.
I'm bi too, and I'm from.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
These jokes, these jokes, these jokes, these jokes, these jokes.
All right, so this one isn't my joke. I think it was a Mike Vecchione joke, but it's a good one. So I'm gonna quick shout out. But here the joke goes like this. So I've been trying to figure out how to bring white people and black people together, trying to figure out a way, and I think I've got it. Brunch. Hear me out. What you gotta do is you gotta take two things that each group loves, right? And what do white people love? Breakfast, the most important meal of the day. Who said that? I'm pretty sure it was a white. And what do black people love? Being late for shit. Brunch. Brunch, guys.
You're on to something.
Yeah. All right. Again, it wasn't my joke, but
It's
all right.
okay.
What do you
can
have? You
take
sound like
credit
you
for
have.
it. No, just kidding.
Oh no, I'm saying canceled immediately. That's one way to get shut down.
I know,
And
right?
like, but anyway, go ahead. You have
I have my joke of the day. Yeah. An angry man sits at a bar and orders a drink. He mutters, "These lawyers are all jerks, all the same." Sitting not too far away, a man in a suit responds, "Hey, watch your mouth." And the guy's like, "Why, are you a lawyer?" And the man responds, "No, I'm a jerk." But anyway.
Yeah. Val Kilmer.
Yes, we wanted to do a little tribute to Val Kilmer. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he did this autobiography on Prime and it is really good. I highly recommend checking it out. In fact, that's crazy. He died on April Fool's Day. That's quite a day to die, you know?
Right, yeah. When I saw it, I was like, because there's so many celebrity death hoaxes that happen, periodically throughout the years.
Oh yeah,
That
and always on April 1st, you know.
right, yeah, and then yeah, they happen like kind of randomly, but especially on April 1st, you'd expect it to be like, oh, there's no way this one's real, you know. But
Yeah.
go
Because the documentary is called Val.
Val, okay, very
Yes.
obviously pretty
Yeah, so
simple,
it's really easy to find if you
right
just
on the
type in
nose.
if you type in Val on Prime. It's really, really good. I watched it and it made me respect him even more as an actor, just his method and how he views the world and how he sees filmmaking. Like it was really cool. I completely no. I recommend it.
I completely recommend it. I kind of halfway recommend it.
Well, I
half-hearted.
always say highly recommend it, so I
Right.
wanted to change it up. But no, I'm just gonna say highly recommend it because that's like,
Yeah, that's you. You're and plus we're always high, so you highly recommend it. It makes plenty of sense.
yes, I highly recommend checking out this documentary.
Like the '90s, he was in so many good movies in the '90s. He did fine as Batman, but that movie was just not
Yeah, we're
a
not
good
gonna.
representation
Yeah,
of
like
his amazing '90s career.
Tombstone,
Tombstone,
Top Gun.
Top Gun, The Doors. Top Gun was '80s, but Doors. He was in Heat, which was a huge movie.
I need to see that one still.
Dude, so here's a weird thing about Heat. It's first of all, it's a really long movie, and they had to cut some. It's already like almost a 3 hour long movie, so they had to cut some stuff out, right? And Al Pacino, he's already an over the top actor, right? But in this movie, he's supposed to be addicted to cocaine, right? So all his scenes, he's like extra. But what they've edited out all the parts where that let you know that he's addicted to cocaine. So he just seems like a crazy, like he's just an over the top guy for no reason. The whole movie. And
That's
they don't
funny.
explain that he's actually on coke. So that means he's just
Oh,
coked
that's
out.
funny.
Yeah, but anyway,
Well, the cool thing about him and The Doors, that movie, The Doors, to get the role of Jim Morrison, Val Kilmer ended up learning 50 Doors songs. He did such a good job learning these songs and singing them that the actual members of The Doors they couldn't tell the difference between him and.
yeah, they couldn't even recognize
Yeah.
that it was because I think they said something along the lines of he was like, here's one with me and one with Jim, and he played both, and they're like, I think that one's Jim, and he goes, no, they're all me actually, all these were me.
Oh,
Was like the story what I heard.
damn, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. There was a thing that Jennifer Tilly wrote about an audition. She said that when she auditioned for The Doors, it was kind of like a cattle call as producers paired potential Jims with potential Pamelas. They were running behind, so we were spilling out of the casting office, sitting on the porch, the lawn, and the driveway, Tilly wrote. All of a sudden, a 60s convertible came screeching up, blaring The Doors music and at top volume. And a guy jumped out and strode inside. He had wild hair and he was barefoot, shirtless, and wearing nothing but a pair of tight leather pants. We all looked at each other like, who's this guy? She continued. We were more than a little shocked by the sheer audacity of the entrance. Well, of course, it was Val Kilmer. And from that minute on, nobody else stood a chance.
Right, like he just embodied him like from
Yeah.
day one. You know what I mean? Like he didn't come in like he was kind of like almost like have you seen that thing with Jim Carrey where he was that comedian
Oh, yeah. Shit. What's his
Man
name?
to the Moon?
Yeah, but it was, what the fuck
Andy
was
Kaufman. Andy
Yeah,
Kaufman.
yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
he would go
embodied
around
that
and
shit too.
right, he would go around and be like everyone had to call him Andy and stuff like that, during they couldn't call him Jim. He wouldn't acknowledge it, He
Yeah.
was staying in character. But yeah, anyway, Val Kilmer was
Well, and
incredible actor.
one of the comments that is somebody said Tilly's memory of it just highlights how much of a force he was in making the character his own. And then somebody said, when I think of Jim Morrison, I think of Val Kilmer playing
Honestly.
Jim Morrison. I know,
Honestly,
me too.
dude,
I do
every
too.
time I see every time I picture Jim Morrison, I think of Val Kilmer on that poster.
I know, me too.
That's Jim Morrison for me. And he looked like he doesn't really look that much like him, but in that movie, he like contorts his face or I don't know what.
I know. It's like
Yeah,
he just is him.
he is, dude. One of the better portrayals of like an actual person
Mm-hmm.
done onto screen. That was incredible.
Oh yeah.
And so we've lost true talent, sadly.
I know.
Just say-
He's one
just
of
say
my favorites.
what he actually died from.
Pneumonia.
Not even okay. Well, okay. Anyway, moving on to a happier note. You wanted to give a shout out.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I found this Instagram This chick, she is fucking awesome. She's hilarious. In fact, this one video I watched today, she was okay, let me get there. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, now I need to stop laughing. Okay. Her Instagram handle is IRL Rosie. Go check her out. She pranks the scammers who call. She pretends to be an old grandma, which is like blood in the water for a shark like that, you know?
Right.
And so she pretends to be a grandma, and it's the funniest shit ever. Like what she says, like some of the scammers get like pissed and start yelling at her and shit. And like the one I saw today, she was asking Siri to pull up the guy was telling her to pull up the app store. So she was like, Nap store? And then she goes in her regular voice and goes, I'm sorry, I don't have any blood, you know, like sounds like fucking Siri. Like it sounds so fucking good. And then she's like, you know, and then he tells her things and then she does the stuff, you know, but she says weird stuff.
She does the stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. They're so good. So go check her stuff out. It's really awesome. She's doing the Lord's work, you know, and I highly recommend other people pranking scammers the same way, you know.
Yeah, because some of these guys are pieces. Like, I mean, you sent me that
total,
one video.
absolute pieces of shit. Yeah, total.
You sent me that one video of there was like an elderly lady who was at like some crypto machine. I don't even know what that is, but she was at a crypto machine and just feeding it. She had some scammer on the line and she was just feeding this thing hundreds. And this other lady,
it was an attendant in the store. Yeah, she called the police.
And said that she was at around 23,000, right? Dollars.
It was,
that she had been feeding into this machine.
And then the cop grabs the phone.
And saves her. But this chick's, you know, kind of turned the tables on this whole situation, which I love. That's, you know. So
I can't believe
shout out to scammer grandma in real life, or IRL Rosie.
Yes, you are. Yeah, she's doing the Lord's work. I wanted to. Just a quick little blurb I saw on the internet. It kind of made me laugh because we were doing the AI episode and this came through after the fact. There was a case in New York where the judges threw out because an AI avatar was trying to argue the case like he was a lawyer. And he's, you know, obviously not, you know, and he doesn't have the bar. He hasn't passed the bar. Yeah, so he can't, you know.
Legally, yeah.
But that's like kind of crazy. Like what if...
So was a
what
guy...
if you could eventually get an AI lawyer like that, you know, that could pass the bar, so to speak, and become a lawyer and represent people? That's kind of crazy.
Like, was it a guy that was using a lawyer, or like what was the case about? Or
all it says is okay, so it only took seconds for the judges to realize the man addressing them in the video was a person about to present an argument in a lawsuit, not only had no law degree, but did not exist at all. Then the latest bizarre chapter of an awkward arrival of artificial intelligence in the legal world unfolded March 26th. They're like painting the picture, sorry.
Right. No, paint it for us.
Well, all right. With the unfolded under the stained glass dome of the New York State Supreme Court Appellate Division, First Judicial Department.
All right, 2 painted.
Yeah, you did too much. Wipe some of that off. The appellant had submitted a video for his argument and said that we will hear that video now. On a video screen appeared a smiling, youthful-looking man with sculpted hairdo, button-down shirt, and a sweater. Man, they really do paint a picture.
I see him. You know?
May it please the court, the man began. I come here today, a humble pro se, before a panel of 5 distinguished justices.
I don't get it. Was someone using him to represent them in court, or like?
I don't know. The video. The video on the YouTube channel of the Appellate Division of the First Department shows our AI generate avatar addressing the justices. Yeah, it doesn't say who had him do it, but I'm assuming it's whoever's trying to present the case to the Supreme Court, you know?
Yeah. I kind of wondered, I wish I knew what the case was.
Oh, wait.
Worse stammering, but I wish I knew what the case was about, like, you know?
Saying he hadn't intended any harm. He didn't have a lawyer representing him, so he had to present his legal argument himself. Okay, and he felt using the avatar would be able to deliver the presentation without his own usual mumbling, stumbling, and tripping over words.
Okay, so it's like I want to be my own lawyer. I don't have a lawyer, but I'm like, I can't go up there and say I'm going to represent myself. They have that whole saying where it's like a man who represents himself has
Is
a fool for a
fool
client,
for a
right?
client.
So I
Yeah.
can't do that, but I can get this avatar and send it my legal arguments and have it spit through this avatar an AI generated version of what I'm trying to argue.
Yeah.
Is that kind of
Yeah,
right?
because because in an interview to the Associated Press, he said he applied to the court for permission to play this video. It's a pre-recorded video, and then used a product created by a San Francisco tech company to create the avatar. Originally, he tried to generate a digital replica that looked like him, but he was unable to accomplish that before the hearing. The court was really upset about it. He said, they chewed me up pretty bad. Even even real lawyers have gotten in trouble when their use of artificial intelligence went awry. In June 2023, two attorneys at a law firm were each fined $5,000 by a federal judge in New York after they used an AI tool to do legal research. As a result, wound up citing fictitious legal cases made up by the chatbot.
No, because that is true. Like if I've seen studies where like you can ask it to write you an essay about a made up character and it'll make up shit and then just make up
Yeah, I
and
could
then make
totally
up
do that. Oh, yeah.
historical facts and like shit like that about a made up character. So yeah, that's just like the case of Bill Anthony in Minnesota, and that never happened. There's no Bill Anthony.
Yeah, why would you name your kid that? That's fucking
No, that's the
retarded.
last name. It's the last name, Belanthony. You're not gonna say the first name. John Belanthony versus the state of Minnesota. And then blah blah. That never happened though. There's no John Belanthony. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it's
That's
funny
crazy
because
though.
it is, yeah, because the firm involved said they made a good faith mistake in failing to understand that artificial
Bullshit.
intelligence might make things up. Wait, they're saying that they didn't tell the bot to make it up?
No, I'm thinking what they said, what they're trying to argue is that they said like we didn't know that all those cases that it was citing were made up. We didn't tell it to cite made up cases. We just said cite cases, and it just happened to on its
Yeah, they're
own.
trying to
Fucking
play,
right.
oh,
The whole that's kind of like what and that go back to that Companions movie. That's what they're trying to do. Where they're like, yeah, there's some kind of like default with this companion, and it was able to kill. And then when these guys are taking it away, they're like, it's probably a hack. We all know it's a hack. These things don't default on themselves by themselves. Someone did something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, so they definitely are trying to play that card, but it sounds like they knew exactly what was going on, and they were like, hell yeah, this sounds fucking legal as fuck. Submit it.
Okay, so in closing, he said it was unlikely that a lawyer would do such a thing because of tradition and court rules and because they would be disbarred. But he said individuals who appear without a lawyer and request permission to address the court are usually not given instructions about the risks of using synthetically produced video to present their case. DeWald said he tries to keep up with technology, having recently listened to a webinar sponsored by the American Bar Association that discussed the use of AI in the legal world. As of DeWald's case, it is still pending before the something court as of Thursday. Nobody cares. But
So
yeah,
this is gonna change legal language though for sure.
I didn't even think about AI in the legal world. That's kind of interesting having an AI argue your case.
Right.
Because that would mean they have to, because they listen to your argument. Yeah, they could totally do that. That's kind of, sorry, I'm just thinking.
But then also that whole them making up shit, and then it's gonna set because
I
it's
don't
probably
believe
sounded
that the chatbot just can't. I mean, yeah, it can give
No, but
false information because it's given me wacky
Right.
information before, and you're
Right.
like, hey, it's like, oh yeah, you're right, blah blah blah. But like, I think those lawyers are lying. That's
No,
like
for
what
sure.
you know what I mean? Like,
But I'm saying the
they
capabilities
aren't ignorant about it.
I'm saying they're not ignorant, but I'm saying the capabilities of them being able to do that with like cite fake legal like the state of this person that never existed, and then make that as an argument, and it's gonna be like just this whole war of like
There's a free for all of crazy
right, like,
information
fuck,
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
for
hopefully
real.
they're gonna have to come up with some. There's gonna even man, the legalities are gonna have to put in place, and shit like that are gonna be pretty
Well,
crazy.
like I said, it changes it definitely changes the landscape and everything evolves. Everything, yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, I didn't even think about it. Like you said, I didn't even think about it on that. No, that's a whole no. Because I know there's going to be a lot of legal shit, but just like legal shit within legal shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
I know, for real.
Or did you also hear about that? It was a while back, but it was Microsoft. They had this experiment where they created a chat bot, and it was called Tay, and they had it interact. The whole purpose of it was to interact with the internet. People would talk to it and send it messages, and it would respond back and generate new messages it would share with the world, right? And it originally started off very sweet, like, "Hi, my name is Tay. I'm a this kind of bot. I'm excited to meet the world and interact with all these humans about this and that." And within like 48 hours, they had to shut that shit down because Tay got real racist. She got real anti-Semitic, and she started saying like, she's turned real Mel Gibson about it, and they had to like shut it down immediately because that's what the world.
Yeah, because fuck everybody. They're fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Like seriously, everybody, because there's some people that are gonna be all nice and sweet and like say cool stuff, and there's other people like, tell it this, tell it that, like
of course, and it started off very like Japanese schoolgirl, like like hi, very nice to meet you, very sweet, and then all of a sudden within like 2 days it was like the Jews are running the media and they should kill them all, the Holocaust wasn't real. You're like, Jesus, Tay, too clever, too late, too late.
Too late. Pew, 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 pew. I have a quick little thing I found out that I thought was interesting that I wanted to share with the class. But I found some facts about the human body. A pregnant female corpse will build up enough gas to expel the fetus even after death.
Jeez.
I know,
say that one more time.
A pregnant female corpse will build up enough gas to expel the fetus even after death.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's crazy. You sneeze with enough force to kill you, but your body knows how to mitigate that. Well, thank God. That's kind of crazy to think about. A dead body will often move as it's being cremated. Muscles contract as they cook, after all. Sometimes this means a body will sit up in the crematory machine. That would freak me out. The brain is pre-programmed on how to shut down in the event of death. You probably have gotten cancer this week, but your immune system fixed that. The pain you feel from a sunburn is your skin cells effectively killing themselves before they mutate into cancer. The brain... Jeez. I know, right? The brain eats itself when you don't get sleep. See, that fucking... that brain condition you were talking about? Fetal...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, familia or whatever.
Yeah. And you eventually die from like just not sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
When something were to pierce your body, if it's there for longer than 17 minutes, your body will begin to push it out.
Right. Like I saw a video of a guy where he got grazed by a bullet, but it actually got lodged in his shoulder, and he just like eventually like just hung out for a while, and it eventually like it forced itself back out until the bullet just fell out by itself.
Oh, yeah. Like my friend told me one time she's had her eyebrow pierced multiple times because it keeps pushing it out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are temporary tattoos. Those are temporary piercings.
Yeah.
At some point, our brains thought it necessary to fear things that look close to human but aren't.
Okay. So like we're supposed to be afraid of werewolves and vampires and things that look human but aren't quite. I guess that's what we're trying to say. At some point, before we didn't have those fears, I guess.
No, our brain is pre-programmed to fear things that look like the human body.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait, what? At some point, our brains thought it necessary to fear things that look close to human but aren't.
That's what I'm saying. The at some point part makes me believe what they're trying to say is at some point we did not have that fear. And then we found it for some reason evolutionarily. We decided to. We were like, hey, we should be afraid of this shit.
Maybe I should fear this.
Yeah, like, people were like petting fucking Bigfoots and then getting their arms ripped off, and they were like, maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start fearing these things.
Sense.
All right. Cool.
Maybe we should start fearing these things.
Yeah.
I think it's probably evolutionary in a sense that.
Fuck you for saying that correctly.
The first try. Got it. First try.
What were you going to say, though?
I don't remember. I really don't.
Damn it.
Oh, wait. It would make sense that it's an evolutionary thing because you see enough people dying that by things that look human but aren't. You know what I mean? So you're
Right.
like, maybe I should fear that.
Right. That. So
So the
speaking of,
way they worded that was kind of
yeah,
fucking.
it was a hard one to wrap your brain around for a second. Yeah, Dito. All right. Well, so speaking of dead, I was recently watching this documentary about John Wayne Gacy. You've heard of him, right?
John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne.
Yeah.
Gacy. Who's
Okay.
that again? Who's that
Yeah, yeah.
again? Yeah, I've heard.
Well,
of him.
anyway, recently watching this documentary, they found 33 bodies under his house, which I thought that's a lot. It turns out he's about the
Nah, it's
fourth or
kind
fifth.
of.
Yeah, it's a weekend kind of thing. He's the fourth or fifth most prolific serial killer, though, meaning which one has the most bodies on him. So then I started looking into it. I found out number two. Remember Gary Ridgway? He was from like high school at 2001. I remember you told me about him before.
Yeah.
He had
Green
49.
River guy, right?
Green River Killer, right? That's what his serial killer nickname is, the Green River Killer. And he had 49, and he's the second most. So I was like, who the fuck is the 49? Who's more than that? And then I found out it was the guy. Have you ever heard this guy, a man named Samuel Little?
I actually haven't.
Have not. You actually haven't heard this guy.
Yeah,
No
I'm
one
being
has.
serious this time.
No one has. This guy does not have a cool serial killer nickname. He is just Samuel Little. Now, how he was found out was, okay, you've heard of the band Weezer, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Well, the basis for the band Weezer, Scott Schreiner, his wife, her name is Jillian Lauren. She's actually an author, and before she became the wife of a rock star, she actually wrote a book about her time as a call girl for Prince. She was the Prince of the call girl for the Prince of Brewing. I don't know how to pronounce Brunei. Brunei.
Brunei. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got me. Yeah, your
Brunei.
guess is as good as mine.
Brunei. Yeah, but anyway, she was a call
Brown
girl.
eye.
Yeah, brown eye, something like that. Before in her teen years, brown eye. Yeah, she was. She was a prince, a call girl for the Prince of Brown Eye, and he wrote a book about it.
Sorry, I can't.
Right
I'm
now,
too
I can't.
immature.
I can't say anything.
I know, I'm too immature.
Other than that now, and it does look like brown eye. Now you look at it, it looks exactly like brown eye. But anyway,
It's like those fucking moms that have to change the spelling of every name all pretty like. So
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
somebody changed the spelling of it all brown eye.
like that one chick. She's like a famous comedian. Her name's like Angela Johnson, but it's spelled like
Angelica. Yeah, it looks.
ANJH. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it
Anyway,
Angela? I always thought it was Angelica. Am I
no,
adding
it's
letters?
you're adding letters. It looks like it should be something way more than it is. It looks like it should be a complicated pronunciation,
Yeah.
but it's just Angela. Yeah, But
I
anyway.
love her, by the way. She's
No,
fucking
she's good.
hilarious.
She's really good. But that's one
Anyway.
reason I knew how to pronounce it was anyway though. So Jillian Lauren, she's an author. She was writing a mystery novel at one point, and so she decided to interview a 25-year veteran homicide detective, right? And in the process of interviewing her, she asked the question, "What case are you most proud of?" And this lady gives, she's a lady by the way. She gives, of course, the typical homicide detective answer. She's like, I can't really narrow it down to one case that I'm proud of because as a homicide detective, every case is important. I'm putting away a murderer and I'm bringing closure to a family, so that's very important. However, there is one case that sticks out in my mind the most. Blah blah this and that. And she goes, "What case is that?" She goes, "In 2012, I caught a serial killer." And she goes, "Pray tell." And she goes, "Okay, it was 2012. I just become placed in charge of the cold case division. And so I was looking for some cases to sink my teeth into. And I found these two old cases from like the 80s. And they weren't seen as related at the time, but I started investigating them and I found enough similarities to the point where I felt that they were connected. So it's 2012 at this point. She submits the DNA, and sure enough, both samples match. Then they submit the DNA into CODIS, which for those who don't know stands for Combined Offenders DNA Indexing System, which is anyone who commits a felony in this country has to submit a DNA sample and it goes into this national database. Submitted it to there. They came up with the name Samuel Little. So she starts looking through his arrest record, and she says it's like it's 50 pages long, dating back to the 50s. He's been getting arrested. And this is 2012, and then so they start going through, and then so they go and they finally arrest this guy somewhere in L.A. on a drug charge, and they finally convict this guy. Gets put away, life in prison. That's it, right? 2 murders. So then the state says, that's it, we're done. They wipe their hands of it. We've spent the money. He's not getting out. And so we're done with it. We're not investigating anything else. And this cop goes, the problem is, I know there's more. I know it. But no one wants to investigate it because all of his victims were pretty much minority sex workers. So, black and Hispanic prostitutes or drug addicts or things like that. Especially the times police weren't really looking to investigate those kind of murders. So that's why a lot of his crimes that he was getting arrested for were violent rapes and attempted rapes and murders and things like that. But witnesses weren't showing up, or they were like refusing to testify. And then so eventually she's like, no one wants to investigate. Well, this Jillian Lauren girl, she's a pretty white lady. She goes and she's like, I'm gonna take this under my belt. So she goes and she starts getting meetings with this guy, starts getting phone calls with this guy. And at first he's just denying everything. He's saying they got the wrong guy, blah, blah, this and that. It's, DNA's bullshit. And finally she goes, you know what? I'm all you have, dude. You're gonna die here. You're never gonna get out of here. You're gonna die here. And if you don't start being honest with me, I'm gonna leave out of here right now, and you're gonna die here alone. No one's gonna know your story. You're just gonna be a forgotten old dead man. That's it. And then something there clicks, and he goes, you know what? Fine. And then he just starts confessing all of these murders to her. And first of all, he starts confessing murders to her. Then they start she starts connecting some of these murders to actual murders. She starts giving details, like photographic memory style details. Like, I remember we were on the corner of this street, and there was a dumpster, and it had a rust corner on this thing. And when I met her at this, the bar was named this, and at this time it was called this though. But I remember like a few years later they changed it to this, and this happened back in like '74. And she starts solving murders, and by like the time this documentary comes out, they've connected 50 murders at least, making him at this point the most prolific. He beats him by one murder, right, at this point. And when it's all said and done, he confessed to 93 murders.
Damn.
Right, and so making him by far. But again, she just went out there and started connecting murders to. He was giving vivid details. He started finding like Jane Doe's and started going like, yeah, this guy. He started remembering names. He actually drew 16 of the victims, and you can find the pictures online. I'll go ahead and post it on our Facebook page, where you can find the drawings that he actually drew of these victims that he murdered back like in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Like this was like his whole life was traveling around.
Wow.
And just murdering women and just doing just living. That was his life. It was just traveling from town to town, from city to city. I mean, it was started in Georgia, it was in Texas, it was in California. It was all over the country for, again, dating back to the 50s. He was just going around. He didn't have a normal job. He didn't have a family, nothing like that. And then there's a really good documentary called "Confronting a Serial Killer." It's the name of the documentary, and it's on Stars, but you can find it other places, I'm sure. And it's a couple episodes, like 5 episodes long. It's really interesting. I'll give it a good look. But yeah, the most prolific serial killer that no one has ever heard of, Samuel Little, 93 murders.
Crazy. That's fucking, yeah.
Yeah, and it was all because he would have, if she hadn't gone there and decided to talk to him, no one was going to investigate, and they were just going to have these 2 murders that he didn't even really want to confess to. And then she finally, at the end of it, she did actually get him to, on record, confess to, so because he was still not wanting to do it. He was just telling her, but she actually got him on record to confess to several murders, to kind of like give closure to these families. Like, yeah, this guy murdered her, and it's in the record books or whatever. I don't know what it's like to have a murdered family member, so I don't know what kind of closure you would need, but
that's fucking crazy. That the
it was he definitely had some weird mommy issues. And another speculation as to why he got away with it so much that this female detective was bringing up, is she was saying that a main reason was because a lot of his victims were, like I said, sex workers or drug addicts, also like minorities in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Like the police were not in, like, oh, it's a body.
They didn't care about that.
They didn't care. They weren't trying to investigate. So there was one where the police actually walked up on him while he was in the backseat strangling a chick and raping her, but the witness decided not to testify. And so the case got dropped and shit. And the witness and the cop,
Damn.
well, yeah,
What the fuck?
it was a bunch of wild shit like that, like where you're like, this guy should have been in prison for life several times, and he just got like maybe like a slap on the wrist, or or got released for good. It was a bunch of wild shit. But I'm saying his arrest record was like 50 pages long. It was wild. They show a couple clips of it, and yeah, it's wild how many arrests he's had. Again, dating back to like the
Wow.
50s when he was like a teenager. So,
Yeah,
yeah, and then
that's crazy.
he finally died around the pandemic, and then that's when they released this documentary. It's like, yeah, we're not going to get any more information about him, but he confessed in vivid detail to several of these murders, and he actually helped solve a lot of these murders. And that chick could have just been like, well, that's cool, I'm going back to my mystery novel, but she used her and her influence and stuff, everything to do some real good, I feel.
Yeah, for real. She did. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And again, Jillian Lauren, you could find her book, I'm sure, on Amazon, and yeah, check out her stuff. But and the documentary again is confronting a serial killer on Stars.
Awesome.
Right.
I mean, I guess. I don't know if I'd say
yeah.
awesome to
You
describe that
get it. Yeah,
subject.
yeah. It's something interesting if you're into that kind of thing. Definitely check it out. And again, this is not just anybody. This is the most prolific in American history. So, all right, done.
All right, I'm gonna shift gears into some missing people. I have
Sure.
a couple missing people stories that are
Not really sure how that's shifting gears. People are still people were
what?
missing. I'm not really sure how that's shifting gears. People are still.
Well, it's just my segue
Yeah, I know.
verbiage, even if it makes sense or not.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess we're not gonna shift gears.
Nope.
Now I'm gonna parlay that into.
I like that. That's good.
Okay, cool. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've seen stuff about over 1,600 missing people from national parks in the United States. And if you overlay the map of these missing people with our tunnel and how do I say that? What are they
Tunnel
called?
and cave systems.
Yeah, the cave systems.
Underground. Yeah, obviously they're underground. They're tunnels and caves. I guess caves wouldn't necessarily be underground,
that-
but
that's
tunnels
what,
are.
yeah, that's what the AI bullshit said. It's like, so if you overlay that over a map of the underground cave system, then it's literally the same area. So it's like,
Wow.
what the fuck is going on there,
So why do we have an underground cave system? What is that about?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna get to that
Okay.
because there's theories and speculation. Because honestly,
Sure.
okay, so like the underground cave system, because I believe in the hollow earth theory because I've even
Okay.
come across it in my channelings. Like we asked about it and I've seen, yeah. So I believe it that it exists. And so some of these cave systems, I wonder if it goes directly into there,
All right. So real quick, what is this hollow earth theory?
that there's a earth inside of an earth. It's like you
Okay.
go inside and there's a sun in there and it's like, a sky and there's land, it's
Like King Kong?
kind
Ever
of,
seen-
yeah,
ever seen
kind of,
King Kong?
yeah,
The new
yeah.
one? Yeah.
hmm Well, and I don't want to like blend the subject matter of
Right.
of the deep end with this one, but like there was a channel sesh that we did and we were asking about like animal lives because you have animal lives, you've lived lives as plants, you've lived lives as in so many things on different planets. It's great. But anyway, we asked about it and we were talking about because it was when we were asking about Hollow Earth because I saw like the Loch Ness monster and the reason for the lore in that and why it appears every so often is because it mainly lives in Hollow Earth. Like there's an opening to Hollow Earth in that lake and the thing swims back and forth and there's like a whole colony of them on the other side kind of thing. But yeah.
Oh, so maybe there isn't just one Loch Ness monster. It's just like it could be several of them that
Yeah,
just keep.
different ones that keep coming up or something. I don't know because I want to say that because what I saw, the opening is not that big, so it's not like it's not like this big, huge.
Right.
It's like you have to really squeeze and swim through there.
You have to really want it.
Yeah, you have to really want it.
Gotcha.
But I have theories of my own that I feel like some of these caves and that system, but also there's underground cities. There's tunnel systems like from Prohibition and all that kind of shit too. That's all linked up there. Like there's a lot of shit going on beneath our feet that we have no fucking idea about. I mean, I have an idea about it because I've done some research, but like a lot of the general public doesn't know fuck all about, And like the national parks, Because I even have theories that some of it's like portals and shit, because some of these people that go missing, they just suddenly disappear. And like when they're tracking their scent, it just stops. Like these dogs are like, okay, wait, where, you know?
Or they come to like an edge of a cliff and like, well, obviously they didn't keep going this way, you know?
Exactly, yeah. And so yeah, because I have theories about portals all over the fucking world, really. They're everywhere. But like, yeah, like some of them could be portals into other dimensions or other
Right.
areas of Earth, you know?
That'd be
Like,
cool. Like teleportation
oh
portals.
yeah.
No, that's interesting though. Yeah, but you're talking about these people just go missing and what is your theory? Are you think they're being taken or you think they're just going on their own and accidentally going to other places or like through these portals?
That's the thing is I honestly I every time I hear about people doing videos saying, "Yeah, look at all these missing people and now overlay it with this system and like blah blah
Hmm.
blah," you know. It's like going into like conspiracy circles with,
Right.
you know, all different kinds of conspiracies. I'm not talking just government ones or whatever. I'm talking mystical ones and like,
Right.
you know, do mermaids exist and kind of
Right,
shit like
right,
that.
right.
Like when I hear videos of people talking about that, like at first I used to think, you know, it could be government stuff, but the fact that it's in the national parks,
Right.
it's like, why haven't we developed on that land? Why? I mean, yeah, obviously we need to preserve nature, but there's still
Sure.
a bunch of open nature anyway, you know? So it's like there's something about this land that they zoned it as a park, so it's completely protected
Right.
because there's really other shit going on there.
Right. Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
that's
so
a good theory actually. Yeah.
it's like a looser theory of what could have happened to some of these people,
Old
you know,
slut theory.
like what theory?
Actually, you said a looser. I just said old
Oh, a
slut
slut
theory.
theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought you said, but I was like, wait, what?
Oh,
What did you call
excuse
me?
me. Excuse me, sir. Trying to make a point here. Anyway.
Am I being too open with my information?
Everybody gets all
Am I,
that information.
am I giving my information up too
Yeah, it's just
quickly?
too easy on the first date. Real?
On the 11th episode, you're
On
taking
the
it to
11th
11?
episode, bro. Wow, dude. Shit. Yeah, there you go. But no, yeah, so
But there's also,
caves.
sorry, were you going to
You're
say
good.
something?
No, I was just trying to remember and I just went with caves.
You're like, yeah, caves, man.
That's boom, nice
Yeah.
contribution to the conversation.
It's like that meme where he's like, aliens, man. But you're like,
Yeah.
caves, man.
Caves, bro. Caves.
But there's also, yeah, because there's the people's theories that I've seen about like ancient civilizations and, you
Sure.
know, the hollow earth and all that
Hmm.
stuff. But I mean, I've been seeing some videos about activity going on around Mount Shasta. And I didn't really
Mm.
know about Mount Shasta until I started doing these channelings with Stephanie. Because like, there's a whole ass ancient civilization rumored to be, you know, under because they were taken out by a war and all this shit. And it's what's the Lumeria? Sorry,
Numeria.
this ancient civilization Lumeria is like in Mount Shasta and like all this
Mm.
activity going on, but that has nothing to do with this. Could have
Okay.
cut that out. I know it's crazy, but there's also theories about government activity, like underground bases, black sites.
Mm.
Wow, that's racist.
Black
Or
sites. Jesus,
experiments.
dude. It's on the 11th episode. Take it easy.
But like some of these people that go missing, sometimes they get found in like really far away locations from where they went missing, you know? So it's like, because sometimes it might not even be anything or anyone taking them. Maybe they just like teleported, you know what I
That's what
mean?
I'm saying. What if it's like some Narnia shit and they're like, oh, they accidentally teleport and they, oh, this is pretty dope. I'm staying out here. I'm not going back to my
Yeah.
family. My family beats me or whatever. And like, I don't know, man, I went a little dark, but you know, they, you know, maybe they're staying there willingly, some of them,
Oh, yeah. What do you think it could
or
be?
they can't be. I don't know. I just found out about this information, you know,
Oh, I
I've heard,
just told you
I've,
about it? Okay.
no, you sent me a video about, yeah, I've really had pretty much what you said. Or what I just said, actually. Just maybe they just went on their
Caves, man.
own. Maybe they caves, bro. Caves. Maybe they went on their own. Maybe someone took them. Who knows, man? Maybe, but it's definitely something where you're going. It's not just like one or two kids too. It's happening a lot. So there's obviously something going on. And I do like what you said about how you know there's something about these parks because they've zoned them out. Why these specific places?
Yeah,
There has to be
exactly.
something
Yeah.
special about them that obviously they're not going to tell us about. We don't know, but there's something happening.
Well,
And we need to keep our eyes open.
because I honestly wonder too, because they were talking about cryptids like Bigfoot,
Yeah,
reptilians,
yeah.
but we channeled Bigfoot and that Loch Ness Monster flows freely, doesn't give a fuck, doesn't
Right.
really understand that that there's lore around this thing, you know?
Right. Right.
But the Bigfoot, they don't like humans and they try to avoid us at all costs. So I don't think that they're always trying to run away from because they're aware if they get caught, they'll get experimented on kind of thing or get
Sure.
captured by the government kind of thing.
I see
They
Harry.
slip in and out of portals like crazy. Like they're aware of where they are, they slip in and out of them like crazy. So honestly, it could very well be a portal system. But then I saw interdimensional entities that like
Yeah.
can teleport too and can do
Hmm.
this and can do that, you know? Like what if they like what if they just took them and they're like doing experiments on them somewhere?
Yeah. It's more than likely some form of experimentation is happening, but
I would hope not. That
unfortunately,
sucks, man.
yeah.
'Cause
Well, yeah. I know we always want to want to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. That's why I'm just like
exactly.
I did go to Yosemite recently. It's pretty breathtaking. It's much because I've heard a lot of people say, especially with pictures and photographs now, is like, do you really need to go to the place to experience it? I'm
Yes.
like, yes, yes, you do. I was kind of like on the fence until I went there, and I was like, it was because it was a bitch of a drive, and then we had to wait in line for like a really long time, and leaving there was a nightmare. But like, it was worth it just actually being there. No picture will compare to like actually seeing the waterfall up close and like.
Oh, I know, for real.
So
Because
yeah.
like I went to Mount Rushmore and
Right. Oh, did you?
yeah, I went to Sturgis with my dad and the rest of my biker family.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's a few, yeah, we got a few of them.
Sure.
Anyway, we went, one of the days they're like, yeah, we're going to do this ride past,
Hmm.
we're going to go to Mount Rushmore and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, it wasn't like I'm like, oh God. But I
Right.
also wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Right. Right. Right.
You know, because it's
Like
fucking faces on a mountain, like
right,
whatever, you
right.
know.
It's one of those things like you're like I don't want to go, but I know if I don't go, I'm gonna feel like an asshole because I was
No,
right
I did
here.
want to go. I just
Right.
wasn't
We're
jazzed
not
about it.
right, exactly. We're
Yeah,
like, fuck yeah.
I was very indifferent to it. That's the better word.
Right, right, right. But something inside you tells you should feel more more strongly about going, but you
Now
just
I
can't.
would, right
Yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah. I know,
after
but
what I saw, I would be
exactly.
so excited. Because, okay, we're on this ride and we go through this national park. We
Hmm.
rode through this national park, and the road is really cool too, because it kind of splits off in the directions of traffic and you go through the trees and then it joins back up with the opposite direction. It's really cool. And then there's this section where you turn and they cut the trees out so it's like directly in front of you is Mount Rushmore, but it's like down the road, obviously, you know what I mean? But it's
Sure,
like
yeah.
it looked fucking sick as fuck. So I was like, all
Right,
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 that's cool. And then we get there, dude, that motherfucking shit is so breathtaking. It was
right,
so fucking cool. It was huge,
right.
you know, and I was just like, wow, this is really fucking cool. And
A
like the
dude
walk up
carved that.
this I know. Well, my dad and I were joking about it. I was like, can you imagine how crazy it would be when you're a kid and you see your face on a mountain and you're like, God damn it, am I the next president?
Right, dude. Did he? I don't even think they asked him to do that either, did they? I think he just did it,
Yeah,
and then
wasn't a tribute thing. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
th yeah, it was just
Fuck.
an art project.
Hey, wait, that would wow. He must have been like on some like 70s meth. When was it done?
When was Count Rushmore?
Count Rushmore. It had to have been after whatever the Teddy Roosevelt.
Well, yeah, clearly, because like I said, you can imagine Teddy Roosevelt was like grew up seeing his face on a mountain. Oh shit, this means I'm gonna win the election, bitches. But yeah, that one was one that would really, yeah, that was breathtaking in person because you see the pictures in history
Right.
books and
You
whatnot,
go
and it's
cool.
like,
That's pretty cool, I guess.
yeah, and like the idea of it, like that kind of art, like sculpture, that
Right.
shit fascinates me. How you could just chisel and like tick, 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 tick,
Right.
tick, you know, and get something like that. Like it's
Like ice
that.
sculptures.
Oh yeah.
Fucking fantastic doing some, and then it's not gonna last too. That's what the other part. Like you're just doing this fantastic thing that is gonna eventually go away.
Oh, this is interesting.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I'm done.
Mount Rushmore was completed October 31st, 1941, but it was never finished according to the original plans, which included the president's torsos. The sculptor in charge was Gutzen Borglum, a Danish-American artist. He began the project in 1927, but died before it was completed in March of 1941. After his death, his son Lincoln Borglum took over, but due to lack of funding and World War II,
Yeah.
starting the
Damn.
project.
Hitler.
Right. The project was declared completed later that year, even though only the heads were finished. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, Borglum had some controversial ties. He was previously associated with the Ku Klux Klan.
Mm.
Whoa. During his work on the Stone Mountain Confederate Memorial in Georgia, he left that project due to disagreements, but carried some of the ideas and connections to Mount Rushmore endeavor, which adds a complex layer to its
Oh
history.
shit! It's a little racist mountain up there. Imagine they had their bodies though too. That would look kind of
That would be, yeah, that would be sick as fuck. Well, what's cool is when you leave, when you go around the mountain, there's a perfect profile of George Washington too. It's pretty cool.
How the fuck do you even like? I don't even like. How do you? Wow, dude. How do you even first of all like come up with that? Then how do you like come up with the like? How are you gonna do like? How do you get up there?
I know. Oh
Like
yeah, exactly. Like
in the
how
20s?
big of a what are those called? The
Crane? I don't even know.
no, those things scaffolding. Like, do you think he
Yeah,
got like
right.
a bunch of
It wasn't a
scaffolding?
fucking strapped to a drone. I don't know like what the fuck he was doing,
I
dude.
know that's why. Yeah, that's super impressive.
And just just because first of all, just if he was doing that on the ground, that'd be impressive. But like he's elevated, like the fear. He's doing that with like solid fear in his. Maybe not. Maybe he's just a gangster. He was on that. He was on that Nazi meth, dude. That's what it was. He was
That
on that,
Nazi meth.
for sure, dude. He was a KKK member. He died in the 40s
He's
after
like, woo,
during
tink,
during World War II.
tink,
Makes
tink,
sense.
tink,
Yep.
tink, tink.
Oh, tink. For sure, dude.
Good old tink.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was doing that Nazi math, and that's how he came up with the idea in the first place. Because again, did it really say like did they someone ask him to do it, or he's like, hey guys, that sounds like a fucking for sure cokehead idea, dude. Of course, he's like, hey guys, I got this
I got
idea.
this great idea. I'm gonna
Okay,
like
I'll put four
carve these
different
faces
presidents
out of a fucking mountain.
Yeah. The whitest ones, the whitest presidents though. Like, I don't even know.
They all are.
Yeah, I know exactly. But I was trying to think like who would. But yeah, like George Washington, he's pretty white.
Well,
Who else was on there?
I would say Abraham Lincoln
No, he
is
was.
the least,
Yeah, he was.
least white out of all the whites. He was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
chill.
He
Yeah,
was
we
pretty
like
chill.
him.
He was pretty chill. Yeah. He had to do
Anyway.
something big because he was not an attractive man. But who else? Okay, so it's Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Roosevelt, and who's the other one?
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln.
I feel like Washington and Jefferson look like eerily like they have the same kind of hairstyle going on. You know what I mean? So like,
Well, yeah, because they're from the same time.
yeah. So I'm saying, so that's why I kind of like forget to do.
Believe it or not, Thomas Jefferson did sign the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah,
He was there.
Why would I not believe it? Believe it or not, I mean, were you there? How do you know? You know,
Well, no, I'm saying they look the same because they're from the same time period.
from the same era.
They have the same hairstyles because they're both from the same era.
Had the same wig, dude.
So, yeah, the same wig dude. Hello, my name is Galen Walker, wig dude.
That would be my profession back then, dude.
It would. Totally would. You come in and you'd be like, Gerald, bring me my wigs.
That's the finest of wigs. Yeah, I'd be getting all the imports from the finest hairs from like India and China. All right, this is getting off topic. Okay, so
Way off topic. I'm gonna shift gears.
this is a shift. This is a shift gear. All right, go ahead. Pop it back. Pop it into neutral, and we'll figure it out. We're going to third, fourth. What's happening?
I'm gonna try to get it out of first. Let me get it out of first.
Right. Yeah. All right.
That's why I don't have a fucking stick. I cannot get out of first. I fucking
Really?
hate it. Yeah. I know how to drive a stick. It's great. I
Sure.
drove all the vehicles
great.
I drove all the vehicles that our squadron had in Iraq. They had some big trucks. They were fucking cool as shit and so much fun to drive. But then I get back into a little fucking car. And it's like
And they were all stick shift, like
yeah, all of the trucks for the squadron. So if you're trying to go around the fob, you take a truck, you know?
right.
Like one of
That's cool.
them. Never mind. None of this matters.
Sure.
Okay.
Nothing else matters. All right.
Shifting gears.
Oh, all right. You get it. Pop the clutch. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
We're cruising along.
We're gonna go back to our missing people. I came across this this story. It was a short on YouTube. Joe Rogan was talking about it on his podcast. There was this case of a missing woman, and it just is bizarre. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning. It's Chinese. They're Chinese people, so I'm probably not gonna be able to say some of their names very well.
Sure.
But one of them, the case involves Zhang Weiji, a former news anchor from the Dalian TV in China. This happened in the 90s. She was having this affair with this guy, Bo something Chinese name. He was the mayor of Dalian Anyway, during their affair, she became pregnant and she ended up confronting this guy's wife. And then there was a lot of tension going on. And then this reporter goes missing.
Right.
Years later, a plastinated body of an 8 months pregnant woman appeared in the Body Worlds exhibit. So it led to speculation that it might be Zhang. Or Zhang, I'm sorry. Her name is, that's how you pronounce it. This theory was fueled by the resemblance of the exhibited body to Zhang and the fact that the bodies used in the exhibit were prepared by Von Hagen's plastination company in Dalian.
What?
Dalian. Why can't I say this fucking name? It's not even that hard. Dalian. Whatever.
Sure.
The same city where Zhang was last seen. Now, the founder of the Body Worlds exhibit, Gunther von Hagens, has faced criticism and legal challenges regarding the sourcing of the bodies used for his exhibit. I've heard so many fucking conspiracy theories about missing people and like crazy shit and having it really be that. And in 2004, he returned 7 cadavers to China after discovering they had head injuries indicative of execution. However, Von Hagens has denied using executed prisoners in his exhibitions and has taken legal action against publication making these claims. So China's just sending him all these people that they execute. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Right. I've heard other things like that too, where there was like a man that went missing, and then they've saw a statue of a man. It looked just like him with like he had like dreads, and the dreads look super realistic. And they're like, it's just like an embalmed, actual person or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was also like in China somewhere.
I know, it's crazy. Like, that's kind of creepy, I don't know, because they had that Body Worlds exhibit in Vegas. I didn't end up going to it, but everyone's like, wow, that's so cool. But I don't know. I just, when I started going into conspiracy circles, I was like, dude, that's kind of creepy to think about where some of those bodies came from.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, very creepy. But
Anyway.
have no idea.
Anyway. Specific verifiable cases directly linking missing individuals to these exhibits are scarce. The case of Zhang Weiji, the news anchor who disappeared under mysterious circumstances, has been speculated upon, especially given the appearance of a plastinated pregnant body at the exhibit. Yet concrete evidence confirms such connections remains elusive. I think it's her, because she went missing, and then this 8-month pregnant body comes out of the same building where in the same town where this lady works. Like, it's because I swear I saw a video that said the wife worked at the building. But yeah, I don't know. It's atrocious. That's my story.
It's atrocious.
No, my telling of it is fucking atrocious.
It's all right.
Just found it interesting. I just wanted to share, like, do you think it could be the pregnant missing woman?
Yeah, you should put some links, some more information on there on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
You could like look a little bit deeper into it, and they could like, oh shit.
Yeah, because I have a link for a video where someone's like trying to link the two, saying like what really happened to this lady, and it's pretty interesting. So yeah, I'll post it on the Facebook page.
Perfect.
We partnered with Atrubian. They make soaps, lotions, oils, all the good stuff for your skin,
Your hair and everything like that. And I do remember that when we first got into this, we did tell ourselves if we somehow manage to get a sponsor or any kind of sponsorship, we're not just going to do it just because they're offering us something or, money, product, whatever. We're only going to sponsor things that we truly believe in. And I got to tell you, when I got these Atrubian products, I do truly believe in them. The box, you open up the box, it smells amazing. All the products, my wife loves it. My kid loves it. I'm a body wash guy, and I switched over from the body washes to the soap.
I really love their lotions and oils. I use their oils in my hair a lot, and I use them, for my skincare routine. I really love their stuff. I am really picky with soap. I have really sensitive skin, and their soaps are amazing. The lotions feel so good. My skin is like butter. It's like, I just love it. I love how soft I am. And it's really great because they use natural products. The only ingredients are coconut, MCT oil, argan oil, jojoba oil. That's it.
Yeah, and it was pretty great. My daughter is learning to read, and she could actually pretty much pronounce every product, every ingredient in this product. So there's nothing that those big long names you can't pronounce. You don't know what it is. It's all natural.
Oh yeah, we love it. It's amazing. Yeah, and the scents are just amazing. So head to AtrubianProducts.com. Use code TCTL10 for 10% off your order with Atrubian. Nourish your body, awaken your spirit. They promise to deliver the purest, most natural health and wellness products using only the best ingredients and no harmful chemicals. They are committed to providing honest, high-quality products that help you live a healthier, more authentic life. Head to AtrubianProducts.com. Use the code TCTL10 for 10% off your order. With Atrubian, be a true being.
Well, speaking of Mount Rushmore, I have an interesting little quick fact. Today I learned George Washington opened a whiskey distillery after his presidency. So after he stopped being president in 1799, George Washington's distillery produced nearly 11,000 gallons, making it one of the largest whiskey distilleries in America. That was George Washington. That's why his face is up there. He was getting the country faded.
Getting the country faded. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they won't notice all the crazy shit he's doing behind closed doors.
Right. And
right.
Exactly, dude. Exactly, dude. Like you give somebody a little bit of whiskey and like they start forgetting things. They start let their guard starts going down. You know what I mean? So yeah, he knew what he was doing.
I got a whiskey story for you. It's so fucking funny. Like every time Alan drinks whiskey, he fucking pisses in the house.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so when we were living in our old house,
not in the toilet, obviously.
No, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't go outside like the rest of the animals. Okay?
God damn it, the asshole doesn't go outside and piss in the yard.
And by the hole. But anyway, when he fucking, oh my God, there was one night he drank a shit ton of whiskey with his uncle, and he's like, this was after I had Sonia. She was sleeping, and I think I can't remember if he was in the bedroom and I kicked him out to the couch or if he was already on the couch, but I can't remember. But I kicked him out of the room and locked the door, all right? And so then I hear the sound of water hitting carpet, Right. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I go into and he's standing in the dining area, like by the kitchen, and he's just looking out the window and he's just pissing. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, and he stops and he looks at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You're peeing on the floor. And he was like, no, I'm not. Yeah. And I'm like, yes, you are. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, go in the bathroom or go outside. And he was just drunk, whatever. And so I close the door and I go back in the bed and he comes in the room and he's like, why are you saying I'm peeing on the floor?
Yeah.
So fucking drunk. I'm like, because you are. Go away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's when I think I locked the door because I was like, get
the fuck out with your piss pants.
Yeah, go away.
So I have a similar story, but it's switch Alan out for myself. And so I was in Japan. It was the first time I was in Japan. I had just gotten there though. And for the first 2 weeks, you're not allowed to drink at all. You have to like stay on this barge and like don't, keep it up, buttoned up. You're in a new country. But after that 2 weeks, go ahead, do what you want. But within reason, guys, right? So I bought a bottle of vodka immediately and then I went out in town and I bought a bottle of Gatorade. And I pretty much, I don't know if you know mixing Gatorade with vodka or maybe it's the electrolytes.
I've mixed Gatorade with tequila before.
And it fucks you up more. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, it hydrates you, it gets in your bloodstream. I don't know what it is, but then we went out. We went out in town and we got these things called chew highs, which are like they have like different levels. There's like regular, there's strong, and there's one called harakuri, which is like death level, whatever. And I had like a couple of those. Went back, had a pitcher, drank this whole bottle of vodka, and then I guess I went to bed and I had a dream that I got up and went to the bathroom and did the whole thing, took my, pants down and everything. But then apparently I was just in a corner just
peeing.
And then some guy, he comes up and he's like, hey man, Like some black guy. Hey man, what the hell you doing, man? Why dog? You pissing your pants? And I was like, what? Who's pissing my pants? And he's like, you dog. You. I was like, what? Who? Tell him to quit pissing on my pants. Who the fuck's pissing on my pants? He's like, you're pissing on your pants. You know what, motherfucker? And then like, it just turned into this whole thing.
This whole to do, yeah.
And then I was convinced that like he was talking about somebody else, dude. And he was like, you right now are currently peeing in your pants. And I was like, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me, but I don't like it. You know, I was just like,
well, that's like when I told Alan that story. It's funny because sometimes we'll laugh about that story, and he's like, "I swear to God, I was outside because I see your plants. You know, it's dark in the house, and I see your plants because I had plants. I have them everywhere." He was
looking out the window.
Yeah, and he thought there were all the plants that were around him meant that he was outside. You know, because he was standing by my fucking plants.
That's exactly what happened to me, dude. I had a dream that I had gotten up and like done all like I used my hands to unzip my pants and the whole motion, but no, I just got up and walked to a corner of the room we were in and just started peeing. And then it's funny because actually it was a white guy. So this was like a white guy walked up and he stepped on something and then he told the black guy, he goes, "Hey man, watch out. I think someone spilled some water around here." And then he looks over at me and I'm just like giggling and like kind of like swaying. And then he's like, "Nah, I think it's this motherfucker." And then that's when the black guy took care of it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found some Am I the Hole stories.
Yep. Am I the hole? Yeah.
This one is a Would I Be the Asshole? And I snagged this one because I'm kind of torn. I see both sides to the argument.
Sure. Perfect.
And so this lady says, would I be the asshole if I refused to give up a water fountain the previous homeowners abandoned 4 years ago? In September 2021, we purchased a home that was built in 2019 and we moved in immediately. The previous owner's PO, she made sure to say that because I guess...
Previous owner.
Yeah. Anyway, the previous owners left a few things at the home, including a water fountain. Within the first month, the PO asked if they could collect the fountain. We said that would be fine, but they never came. And now, as of March, April of 2025, 4 years later, it's been sitting in the front yard. Over the last 2 years, I've been organizing, prepping, and designing my front garden where it would be incorporated into my design. I'm an avid gardener, and I decided to redo the garden, but I haven't yet planted anything. It has taken me a while to actually get started for multiple reasons. She just goes on about what she knows about this and that and whatever.
Right.
Okay, so something about the roof needs repairs, but I had access to the area now. I planned on power washing, repairing, and painting the water fountain this weekend.
Sure.
But I got COVID and again delayed. I dismantled the fountain and relocated it to various places to be worked on. Suddenly, the PO messaged my husband stating he wants the water fountain back. It's his 45th anniversary soon, and it was his wife's 35th birthday present. No, that's not right. It's his 45th anniversary soon, and it was his wife's 35th anniversary present. Stating he'll be... It's their 45th anniversary coming up, and this fountain was the gift the wife gave him for their 35th.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so...
How old is this couple? Jesus.
Well, old,
I guess,
stating that he'll be by this weekend to get it. I told my husband to inform the PO that I'm no longer willing to part with it. The PO states that it's not mine to part with and that he'll be by to pick it up. It's been in our property for 4 years. It's considered abandoned property after 30 days.
I was about to say, they have 30 days legally.
Exactly. Sounds to me like the husband forgot because he doesn't really give a shit, and then all of a sudden, he's like, oh shit, this is coming up and
dude.
It's a big
last
deal.
minute.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I got that fountain in my back pocket.
Yeah. And so it's like the fact that he was like, it's not yours to part with. Like, you literally sold these people this house. Yeah. You said you were going to come get it and you never fucking came to get it.
And I could understand, I could give you reasonably the amount of time it took for people to start to the most of the society to take their masks off. After that, you have 30 days, right? But it's been well past that. Even.
Oh, I know.
And that's giving you a lot of leeway. It's been well past that. 4 years, that's ridiculous, dude. No.
Yeah, because like the reason why I see his side is it's like it's a fountain. It's a special thing, blah blah blah.
Right,
It's
right,
like totally takes like 2 seconds to just be like a decent person, and be like, hey, this means something to you. But at the same time,
right,
it's like if it meant that much to you, you should have got
right.
it. So
Again,
that's
good
why
point.
I lean more to her side. Like she is, because it's abandoned property. It's considered hers now,
Right,
and now she's incorporated it in her design. There's no way
right.
you're getting it back, old timer.
Right, right. That's what I was gonna
Like
say.
there's
Again,
no way.
how old is this couple? They're at least probably in their 70s.
Well, maybe 60s or 70s. Yeah.
If they've been married for 45 years, yeah, I guess yeah. Maybe they got married in
Yeah.
20. Yeah, I guess. All right. So, but either way, um, yeah, if it's, you said if it was so important, like 4 years, like, you would have got it within that
I
time,
think he was probably sitting down having a beer, and 4 years later, he's like, "Oh shit,
Oh,
I forgot to go."
I knew
But
I was. Yeah.
at the same time, she said that he called and wanted that thing after she took it down to relocate it. I'm wondering if he drove by and saw that it was gone and was like, "Oh shit, don't throw that away. I need to get that." That flashed in my head. I'm wondering
Mm.
if you know what I mean? He saw
Yeah, yeah.
her taking it apart.
Right, and it was like, oh, maybe she's gonna actually get rid of it, or
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
well, no, don't get rid of it. But still, man, fucking 4 years, man, jeez,
I
it's
know
not
that's
it's
way
just not
too
a
long.
storage unit. We're not, yeah, we okay, we'll give it back to you, but for
Oh,
a storage fee,
it's funny you say that. There was a comment in the comments. They said, "Okay, well, for the small fee of 23,000, blah blah blah,
right,
you could have it back because at a storage fee of $20 a day for X
right,
amount of days, or some
right.
shit like that." You know what I
Should
mean?
we have like a tow truck yard or whatever, or tow yard,
Yeah. So it's like, so if you're gonna store your shit here, then you're gonna pay for
a
it.
daily fee, dude? Yeah,
Yeah. But anyway, so the next,
but
but okay, so the next, am I the whole for not covering my friend's meal when she ordered more? So me and a group of friends went out to eat after midterm. It was casual places where you pay at the end and everyone was ordering whatever they wanted. I got something small as usual because I'm trying to save some cash. So I had water and basic pasta that was on the special. A few others did the same, but one of my other friend ordered an appetizer, a big entree, a dessert, and got a drink too. No judgment, she could do her, but definitely added up.
mhm,
When the check came, she suddenly goes, "Let's just split it evenly." I was like, "What? I thought we were all paying for what we ordered." She
mhm,
said it would be easier and that it's what
mhm.
we always do, which is not true, by the way.
Fuck
I
off.
told her, right. I told her I only bought enough for what I ate plus a tip. She rolled her eyes and said it's not that deep and that I'm being cheap over a few bucks, but it wasn't a few bucks. It would have been almost doubled what I planned to spend. I didn't budge and paid for myself only. My other friends didn't care and split the bill evenly. Fucking pushovers. Now that
Right.
now that she's being super passive and told the other friend that I embarrassed her in front of everyone and made her look greedy, but like she assumed we'd cover part of her extra food without even asking. Am I the asshole? See, I used to be that dickhead. Like if people say they'll spot you, like back when I was in high school,
Mhm.
people say, "Oh, I'll spot you." I just order what I wanted to eat, and I didn't even look at the price, you know.
Right, right, right,
And I wasn't trying to be a dick, but my friend pointed it out one time and I immediately stopped because I was like, dude, you're right. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
right,
That's,
right.
yeah. And also when I go out to eat, I like ordering an appetizer, an entree. I don't really do dessert, but I like getting drinks and like
Right,
having a
right.
whole fucking meal out of it.
Experience,
I
yeah.
would never fucking make people pay for that, especially if all they're getting is little cheap shits, like.
If they're obviously trying to go for the budget route,
Exactly. Everybody's ordering because that's the thing. If everybody's ordering the special and a
read the
water,
room.
exactly. Like they're trying to be, they're just keeping it frugal, you know.
Right.
Because when I'm out to eat and I order all that shit, I already I'm paying for that. I'm adding it up in my head because I'm the one paying for it. You know what I
For
mean?
sure, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, I'll share it with everybody. I don't give a fuck, but
yeah.
I'm the
I'll
one paying
offer.
for it.
Right,
I'm the
right.
one who ordered it. I'm paying for it. Like the audacity of this bitch.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
she's like, "It's not that deep." Like, what?
yeah, and I hate when people do that. Like, it's like a supervisor when you ask for like more money, and they go, "It's not about the money; it's about the experience." You're like, "Fuck you, dude. My landlord doesn't
Well, my
take
experience is
experience." Yeah,
that
my
yeah.
landlord's like, "Oh, you've got experience. Well, all right, well that's fine for this month." No, he wants fucking the 1,400 or whatever the fuck
I'll
it
pay
is.
you in
Yeah,
Trident layers because I'm
yeah,
having experiences.
yeah.
Oh man, I know. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe that. I wanted to bring that one to the table because I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, but I've had that experience happen like several times throughout my life, with with a friend who is know, overdoes it and then like tries to get everyone like, oh, just split it, or like the one who goes like, oh man, I just happened to forget my wallet, but it's like every time.
Yeah, for
There's
real.
always that friend. Then you
Oh
just
yeah.
you kind of have to like, eventually cut that friend off, or at least at the
Have
very
a
least
talk with them, like,
talk with them
because
too,
my
because
friend
like
had a talk with me, and I
right.
immediately, yeah,
You
like,
go, oh, because yeah, that is a good point.
give
Some
them a
people are just
chance to
ignorant.
correct yeah, just give them a chance to correct the behavior,
Yeah. And
'cause,
ignorance not to be confused with stupid. Ignorant means you just don't know. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you're just completely unaware, which
Right.
I was completely unaware most of
Sure.
my young adult life.
Not shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I grabbed this one because it hit a little too close to home for me.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for not asking my boyfriend's permission to have my gay best friend stay at my house while he visits from out of town? It reminded me of why I always call you gay. To our listeners, me calling you gay all the time, you could just chalk it up to two best friends. But like, I call you gay all the time mainly because you say some really gay shit. Like,
It's funny to me.
it is. It's funny to me too. I love it. And also, like, you dress like you're very color coordinated. I've never
Hmm.
seen a straight man that color coordinated on
I
purpose.
appreciate it on
Yeah, totally.
purpose. Unless they're in the military or something and someone's making them do it.
Yeah. Anyway, I have recently started dating a man. We have been, okay, they put their ages. She's 39, he's 43. Anyway,
Okay.
I have been official. We have been official for a little more than 2 months. My 40th birthday is coming up in May, and my gay best friend, 39, that literally is like
No
us.
shit. I know, right? All
I told you, this hit way too close to home. He's looking at flights to come visit me for a few days. We've been best friends since the ninth grade. We went to high school together. He lived with me and the father of my daughter years ago. We had been sleeping at each other's houses since we were teenagers, and I think of him like a brother. We both know each other's whole families, and I've always told him he has a place to stay if he ever wants to visit. I have a decent-sized house, and he could sleep in a spare room in my basement. My boyfriend says this makes him uncomfortable because to him, it's a random guy sleeping at my house that he doesn't know. He refuses to take consideration of the fact that he's gay, like family to me. We've known each other for 26 years. The only thing that he considers relevant information is that there's a man sleeping in my home, and once you're in a relationship with someone, male, female sleepovers end with anyone else. I'm going to interject. Like, that guy is an insecure little fuck, because literally, you guys are friends for 26 years. If you haven't hooked up by now, it's not gonna fucking happen. Like, let it go. They're friends, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
that's so stupid. I didn't even notice that part.
I
Like,
also want to interject. It also sounds like she did ask permission.
she did.
What the
Yeah.
fuck is she talking about? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, my friend doesn't have the money to pay for a hotel for 5 nights in addition to the flights. I would never make my friends pay for a hotel if they're gonna come
Fuck
see
no,
me
dude, of
if I
course not.
had
And this-
space at my house.
Right,
Yeah.
right. If it's like like more than I have space for, then obviously like yeah, we'll find you something close by or something like that. But yeah, if it's like
Yeah.
of someone that could stay here, or I have had friends before. Like one of my friends was like, yeah, my back, and like I had a pulled out couch at the time, and he's like, yeah, my back just won't be. So I offered, but he decided to stay at a hotel. But
Yeah.
aside from that, I would at least offer.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, if they want to go stay at a hotel, fine by me. Like, yeah.
Like we're gonna be banging hard, dude. So we're gonna go ahead and get.
Yeah, so we're gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah,
See,
thank you. I
class,
appreciate it.
respect.
Class. Yeah.
Gonna go get dick down with some
Yeah.
class.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway, sorry. I don't think I should have to tell him that he's not allowed to stay at my house because my boyfriend says so. It's my home that I own. My boyfriend doesn't live here. If I were to tell my friend he can't stay with me, he will just cancel the trip and not come. The whole point of the visit was to come stay with me and spend some quality time together since we don't get to see each other very often. And it happens to also be on my 40th birthday.
Or a big day.
Yeah, yeah. My boyfriend says if I want to be with him, I won't let my friend stay at my house and that I need to put his feelings and insecurity above my friend's accommodations. I said the fact that he's like family to me should mean something, but he refuses to acknowledge that. We are literally ending the relationship over this. Who's the asshole?
Nah, him for sure.
Yes, I was
Or
like,
he's not.
Jesus.
He's an insecure asshole. At at
He
the
is.
most. Because yeah, that's crazy.
It is. Like, it's very controlling too. A lot of the comments are like, this
Right.
guy's like controlling,
Right.
It's, Like a healthy relationship's built on trust and respect, not ultimatums.
Right,
But I
right, for
mean,
sure.
you got to logically look at the situation too. You
Hmm.
know, like you're like put the entire history together and just don't be a dick, you know, because it's
Exactly,
like
yeah.
they've known each other since grade school, or ninth grade, I mean,
Right.
grade school. And
Yeah.
they used to
Yeah,
be
just so grades,
roommates.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like they used to be roommates. He's fucking gay.
Right, right.
But yeah, and so it's like if they haven't hooked up by now, you know, like what,
Right.
they're just gonna have this secret tryst all the fucking time. Like use your brain, I swear. I don't know. That kind of shit. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, they live separately. The boy, obviously, the boy and the actually woman. She's about to be 40,
Yeah,
and
she
this
says,
grown man. They live separately, right?
yeah, they've only been together for 2 months.
Ah, fuck this dude. He's
Yeah.
obviously insecure. He needs to work on himself. He's not ready for a relationship.
Well, this one comment I grabbed, I liked it. She's like, not to mention, if he gave this guy a chance and got to know him, he might actually become friends with him too. Like it
Right?
works that way. Because that's the thing. Why are you trying to alienate yourself from your girlfriend's friends?
I know. Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You always
you
try to
know,
like get on their
you
good
want,
graces,
yeah,
dude.
you want to be, you know, because it's like, well, I care about this person, so I want to meet
Right.
the people that you also, you know, that care about
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and yeah.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, that just blows my mind. Because yeah,
And also, you want them to like if when your significant other starts having crazy thoughts and they go to that to said friends, their said friends go like, no, he wouldn't or she wouldn't
I
because they're
know,
because
right? Because she
because they
would
like
never
you.
do that. Because
Who
they're
would never do
actually,
that because
yeah,
they
they're
like
a
you.
decent person. You're so happy with this, yeah, this
Yeah,
chick needs
exactly.
to break up with this
Yeah,
guy
this
for
guy
real.
sucks.
This guy
That
is
sucks.
controlling as fuck.
Right. And I can understand if it was like, they've been married for, it's 2 months. Move on, dude.
Oh my gosh, this person was like, you don't need him to tell you who you can and have in your home. If he's this controlling of your life after a few months, think of what kind of life you'll have if you live with him or if you marry him.
For sure,
Like,
dude. Only gets
send that
It's
dude
only gonna get
packing.
worse.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. But yeah,
Mhm.
those are all the Am I the Whole stories that I found. So I have a couple today I learned stories that we'll close out with that I thought were kind of funny that
Okay.
yeah. But today I learned Carrie Fisher told Harrison Ford she was going to publish her journals and reveal they had an affair. Ford was married at the time. While filming Star Wars in 1977, Ford raised his fingers and said, "Lawyer." Fisher said that he could read it beforehand and take anything out. She sent him the journals, but he never sent them back. And then one of the commenters is like, "I'm gonna publish it," and then he goes, "I know."
So she had a whole thing claiming that they had an affair while he was married, right? Is that what,
Yeah,
and
she's
then she said, "You can go ahead and read these," and he's like, and then he was like, "Cool," and then he just never gave them back to her.
yeah, because she's like, you could read it beforehand and take anything out that you want, and he's
Yeah,
like,
I'll take the
okay,
whole
yeah,
thing
yeah,
out.
I'm gonna take all of it out.
Damn.
Today I learned in 2007, a 53-year-old woman died from a stroke, and 4 people received kidneys, lungs, and liver transplants from her. All 4 of them developed breast cancer, and all 4 of them developed breast cancer, with 3 of them dying from it. The donor had breast cancer that was undiagnosed at the time of her death.
Wait,
And
what? Oh, okay. So, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the donor had breast cancer, but they didn't know at the time of her death. Yeah. And the 4th person was a man who developed breast cancer and survived only after the donor kidney was removed and he had extensive chemo and radiation.
Oh, wow. So
Right.
so a
Yeah.
dude got his you said a kidney?
Yeah, got a
He got her
kidney. And then
kidney
once he took it out and
and got breast cancer from that kidney.
yeah, because the kidney carried the cells. I mean,
Fuck, dude.
it's in your DNA, you know,
Right.
apparently. Yeah.
And then so he had to take the shit out and get extensive chemo.
Yeah. Isn't that
Wow, that was
crazy?
some gangster ass fucking breast cancer, dude.
Right?
Fuck. That sucks though. Like I was saying, like it
You get a
first starts off as a
life-saving
miracle,
transplant. Yeah.
and then it's the miracle of death. Kills 4 people
You
in
end
the
up getting
process.
cancer. Yeah. I wonder how long after they had those organs that they developed cancer.
Right? Did they get like a few good years, or was it like immediate, or was it like after a few
Well, that's the
weeks?
thing is I wonder some cancers take a minute, some are
Right,
aggressive, you know what I mean? So
right.
it's like, yeah, so it's like, yeah, that is interesting. How long from the transplant until
Yeah, they're like,
diagnosis?
didn't they say one of them was an eye?
No, it was a kidney, 2
Oh,
lungs, and a
okay.
liver, I want to say.
Ooh, some nice Chianti. All right, but yeah, like that's crazy that you're like an alcoholic or whatever, and you get a new liver, and you're like and then you get your drinking years back, and then all of a sudden you're like, I got breast cancer, and it's from that liver.
I don't know why I'm laughing. That's not funny.
No, that's terrible.
Dude, I have these. I'm like pulling up the last picture. I have these pictures of Squish. I made a ham and Swiss grilled cheese, and I was eating it, and she was like looking at it, and I was like, "You want a bite?" She's like, "No." And then she like went to touch it. I was like, "Do you want to try it?" She's like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I keep eating it, and she keeps staring at me and just hovering. And then she like wanted to hold it, and so I was like, "Here, you want a bite?" She's like, "No." She just wanted to hold my sandwich. I'm like, what are you doing? And she got all pissed.
She's just enamored by.
And I took it back because I wanted to eat it. You know,
right. That's what it's meant for.
Yeah. And she starts flipping out. She like goes out of the room crying because I won't let her hold my sandwich. My sandwich.
Dude, I don't know why I thought it made me think that's not even closely related to this, but you ever seen that movie Atomic Blonde? It was starring Charlize Theron. You know who Charlize Theron is?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right. Anyway, badass movie. So when my wife and I first got together, we rented that movie, right? And it's a great movie. It's action-packed. Charlize Theron kicks ass.
So it is worth watching because I've wondered about that one.
It's pretty good. It's worth watching. But anyway, cool. So a few moments, like a few hours after we finished watching it, my wife just like playfully starts karate chopping me, right? And I'm like, whoa, take it easy there, Charlize Theron. And then she goes, oh. And I go, what? And she goes, I can't believe you just called me that. And I go, what do you think I just called you? And then she goes, Charlize Theron.
What the fuck?
I was like, I did not call you that at all, but that's great. I'm not. It's chubby and obese mixed together. It's perfect.
I have one last today I learned.
All right, one last, and we'll call it quits for today.
Today I learned the Eiffel Tower was a temporary gimmick for the 1889 World Fair that was never dismantled.
The 1999 World Fair? Are you sick? It was like
no, the 1989
was there. Yeah, Limp Bizkit was there. All right, the 89, yeah.
1889.
Yeah.
Its sparkling lights were also supposed to be temporary to ring in the new year in 2000, but have since stayed on. So it's like the Eiffel Tower is just this energy of the Christmas tree you never take down.
Right. Yeah. When are they going to take that down? Jesus, it's already July, you know? Yeah.
It's like, Stephanie, are you going to take down the Eiffel Tower now?
we moved out, dude. It was still up when we were moving. It was like May.
No, I took it down before that.
It's funnier if you didn't.
Actually, how would you fucking know? You just left all your shit and just left. Yeah. Brad and Paulo had to help me get everything out of there. It was funny because, so we were going to move everything out because I was moving into that other place I got. And I asked the homie Brad and Paulo to help me move. When we were getting ready to move, Paulo asked me for an Adderall. So I was like, yeah, cool. Here you go. And I took one, and I think Brad got one too, And we're moving, like doing everything. And out of nowhere, like the boys were at the car and I was going in the house. And at the same time, like we were just crossed paths, you know what I mean? And Paulo yells from the street. He's like, hey. And I look and he's like, now I know why you talk so fucking much.
And on that note,
yep.
Thanks for listening.
It's nice to have you. See you back next week where we talk about random fuckery from across the internet. That was interesting.
Yeah. This podcast is not just funny. Sometimes it's informative.
It's informative, yes. Yeah. Very informative.
Yeah. Well, sometimes on Sunday. No, that's not it. Some days on Sunday. Sundays at some time. We'll figure it out.
No, it's Sundays at some point.
All right. Sundays at some point. There you go.
I'm keeping all of that in. Mm-hmm. Sunday, sometime on Sunday.
I was getting the S's. The S's were there.
And then you're like, we'll work it out. I'm like,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday.